Hey guys, what's up? Boot in New Jersey here today with a little video about rebuilding the KANGER Pro or KANGER Pro 2 coil. So check it out. Okay. So what I need here, I got a pair of tonal clippers. That's going to be to cut with. Got some 28 gauge Kanthal. I've got some 3.5 millimeter wick. I keep all my bags labeled. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and disassemble the original coil of the Protank. And this Protank is a little different because it has a shorter chimney on the actual atomizer. I don't know if you can see that there, waiting for it to focus up. But it actually has a smaller chimney. I'm going to move this up just a hair so you can see better. This has a shorter chimney, so I'm going to go ahead and take the chimney part off and just put that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and take my tweezers, which are right here, and I'm going to go ahead and oh no, better yet, pliers. There's a little grommet here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the metal piece off of the grommet. So gently just close down and twist on it, and you'll see the pin. Oh my gosh, this light is just awful. Let's move that light a little bit so I can get some better view here, some better, what do you call it? So we'll go ahead and we'll pull this little pin out here, like so. Okay, we'll put that to the side for now. Then there's this little rubber grommet in here as well. So we're going to grab that and pull that on out. I think this one I've rebuilt once already. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make it a sub-ohm because I'm running it on a mechanical mod. See, that's just a plastic, or I should say a rubber piece there. We're going to put that to the side as well. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and take my tweezers, which are right here. I'm going to go ahead and grab from the top here. You see there's this coil here, and it comes right out. See, you got the coil and the what do you call it here, the little wings. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that. I'm not sure why I have such bad lighting here. Maybe it's the lighting is too high for it. That looks to be a little bit better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, okay, I've got this empty chamber here. You can see right through it. This is the bottom half of the atomizer for the Protank 2. Any of these bottom coil atomizers. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and cut a good sized piece of wick, which it's usually, I keep it rolled up in the bag. See if I can find the end of it. Oh, there's the end. Okay, I'm not going to cut all this much off, just a, you know, a good sized piece, maybe like an inch, maybe half inch, something like that. And I tend to use tonal clippers just because it makes a pretty good cut. So just cuts right through it. And we'll put this wick off to the side for now. Okay, now I did cut a pretty good sized piece, and the reason for that is because when you cut a smaller piece, if you can see the way this orients into the piece there, it's pretty big looking, but it's a very small area. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, you know, skip out on, you know, cutting a small piece because it tends to fray to pieces very, very easily. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and get my 28 gauge Kanthal and put my baggie off to the side there. Got some extra pieces and whatnot in there. And here's a good sized piece of Kanthal right here. let's say maybe about 2 inches, something like that. And again, I'm just going to cut it with my toenail clipper. Okay, see, I've got a good sized piece of Kanthal sitting there. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the bag because it helps to try to keep things tidy, try to keep things together. And I actually have all this stuff that I keep in a box, which makes it a little tidier. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got this 28 gauge Kanthal, and I've got this screwdriver I just keep laying around. You know, I'm going to go ahead and my computer is disconnecting and reconnecting things for no reason whatsoever. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to go ahead and make a couple of wraps around this screwdriver. And they don't have to be, you know, micro coil where they're like real close together or anything. But I'm just going to do, let's see, that's my other end here of the what do you call it, is running a little short. Hang on a second. Okay. So, and you don't have to make these really, really close together, but try to keep them, you know, as compact as you can to, what we got here, 2, 3, we'll go with 3 on this. Something tells me it'll come out to be 0.8, something like that, but I'll check it on my Vamo beforehand. You always want to check the resistance of your coils. Never just second guess it. There are places on the internet where you can go ahead and do your Ohm's law calculations. What I'm going to do now is I have my coil built here. You can see the coil and the 2 legs that come off of it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this coil and just slide the wick through it. Now, oh, it's getting a little frayed there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lick the end of the wick here, make it a little bit more. There we go. Just slide on through. And go ahead and slide that coil right towards the, if you would say, I guess the middle-ish of it, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be, you know, dead on, but it will do the job. So now you can see I've got my coil on my, what do you call it here? My, back out a little bit. Okay, so I've got my coil on my wick. Try to center it as best I can. I'm going to go ahead and try to tighten this up a little bit by pushing these together. So just a little bit of pushing. Push them together. Okay, and at the same time I'm going to bring this around a little bit and try to tighten up this coil around my wick, which it looks pretty good. Okay, now I've got these 2 legs standing out. One, I always keep one longer than the other. Okay, you can see there. So now what I'm going to do is put the 2 legs together, okay, and I'm going to feed them through the bottom of this first collar. Okay, so you want to feed them through just like that, so they come out the bottom, and you see the coils, and just kind of tuck them right into there. They're not going to be perfect because this is my, you know, this is my second time doing it, but it'll be your first time. I'm sure your first time is not going to be perfect. It is what it is. So you want to go ahead and you can actually grab your sides of the wick here and kind of squeeze them together just to you'll kind of pull the coils in a little bit, and then you can go ahead and give this a little tug, set these sides of the wick down into these holes here on the side, so it's sitting just like that. You've got your legs down here at the bottom. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab this rubber grommet. Now the rubber grommet, we're going to use this one here as a, I don't know if you can see that real well, as a positive, and this guy here is going to be the ground. So we're going to slide this over the positive, over the hot lead. Okay, so it's on there. And we're going to leave the other one on the outside. See, so the other one's right here, right on the outside. Then we're going to go ahead and try to push this in without affecting the other side of the coil, which is a little tricky. Gets to be a little bit of push and shove here until you can finally get the whole thing to pop in, which I'm having a hell of a time doing. Usually takes me a few minutes to get this in, so we'll go ahead and skip ahead. Looks like I've got it for the most part. We're just going to slide that off to the side, and we're going to go ahead and pack this into there. And as you can see, the rubber grommet is now in there. I've got my center here. Okay, and the other side here to the outside. We're going to go ahead and lift up on it and just take my... This lighting is terrible, I'm sorry. Okay, now you can see I've got my little pin here. It's so hard to see, but I'm going to go ahead and cut my negative pin off with the toenail clippers here. So try to go as close as I possibly can. Okay, and snip it off. Okay, so I've snipped off a good little piece here. We're going to put it to the side because that can go in the trash later, so I don't have to worry about any, accidents. Then this lead here I've got is the hot lead. You can see it's in the middle of the rubber grommet. We're going to do the same thing, but this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this piece, put it into the center of this. Okay, I'm going to kink it over a little bit. Actually, I'm going to keep it a little bit over. Okay, I'm going to kink it over a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and kink it back. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just, that's not going to work for me. So I just kinked it over a little bit. It's actually sitting off to the side. Try to keep it separate from the other head piece. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just push this center pin right in. And again, I see I've pulled this off to the side. Okay, now my coils here are sitting a little bit, well, they're pretty centered. They're pretty well centered if you could see them in there. I'm going to go ahead and cut the tip off of here. Okay, so now I've got this piece of Kanthal here. I'm going to go ahead and cut the end off and try to get it as close as I possibly can again and just snip it off. Okay, now everything's put back together. You can see it's all there. I've got this wick everywhere. Just it's starting to fray because I've been playing with it, around the outsides. It happens. What I'm going to do with it, I'm just going to go as close as I can to the edges with the toenail clipper and snip off the sides. Might miss a couple pieces, no big, just go back for them. No big. See, just like that. Go ahead and do it with the other side. I'm going to leave a little extra on this side here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tweezers and I'm going to pull from the other side a little bit. So as you can see, my wick is right here. I'm just going to kind of go ahead and give it a little, go ahead and give it a little bit of pull over this way so it sticks out a little more over here. Okay, as you can see, that's all good there. We're going to go ahead and put the chimney back on. Okay, fit that right inside of there. This one is actually a little bit loose, but this shorter chimney is actually for the Protank 2. I'm not sure if it's a KANGER Protank or if it's a Smoke Tech version of the Protank, but it is a shorter chimney than the original. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pinch together this coil a little bit more and try to shove it down a bit. Okay, it's not looking too bad there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead again, put this little chimney on. Okay, I've got my, just need to find it here. Got my base. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side. And okay, this is where we're going to stop for a moment. Okay, and this is where we're going to go ahead and just screw it down into my little thing here. Okay. And it looks like it's not going to give me the satisfaction of screwing it down nice and easily like it normally does. So I'm going to have to do it by hand, then put the chimney on using, there we go. See, the bottom sits nice and snug. The wick and the coil sits right there. That also is nice and snug. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm actually going to tighten this up just a little bit here because it's looking like it's a little sloppy and it's a little there we go. Let's give this a try now. I'm going to go ahead and put the chimney on. Chimney's going to give me a little bit of trouble now that I just tightened it all up. Okay, snaps right on, and we've got the bottom of our tank. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit, fill it up with some juice. We'll come back and check the ohms. Actually, I can check the ohms right now. I just need to find my VAMO. What did I do with my VAMO? Huh. I appear to have lost my VAMO. This does not bode well. Oh, here it is over here. Okay. Now, as you can see, I've got my VAMO. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's on. Okay, so it turns on. I'm going to go ahead and screw this on without firing it. Okay. My VAMO is a little wonky, so I want something that will fire on my mechanical mods well. So let's see what the ohms are on this. 0.7. So I'm going with a 0.7. I have the Samsung batteries that will hold that load. So I have a 0.7. That's a sub-ohm coil. When I come back, I'm going to put it together, and we're going to come out of the up close, and I'm going to juice it up, put it together, and show you how it vapes. Okay, so I'm back now. I've got my Nemesis mod, which I'm going to go ahead and put it together here with my tank. I've got my Protank 2 here, and I'm going to go ahead and okay, I did have some nice lemon juice in there. Got a little bit of root beer, which is a 50-50 mix. It's got root beer float is what it is. So it's got a little bit of, I guess it's vanilla bean or vanilla float, vanilla ice cream, something like that. This is at a 0.6 milligram nicotine. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just fill this up here for you. It's going to take me a couple of shots to fill the tank. There's one. There's two. Okay. There's three. And we're going to come up right to the bottom here of the glass. So I'm going to consider that a full tank. We're just going to go ahead and screw on the bottom coil here. The one with the coil that I made. Go ahead and screw that down. Okay, all nice and neat. Fitting good, fitting nice and snug. Go ahead and give the whole tank a tighten because the whole tank comes apart on these Protank 2s. So it will tend to, come loose at certain points. Again, the Nemesis, I'm going to go ahead and take the pin out. This is just one of those things I love about the 510 connection, because it's a hollow 510 connection. I can go ahead and screw this on nice and flush. Bam, nice and tight. Right flush to the top of the Nemesis. Get my air holes lined up. Actually have both of them open right now. I'm going to go ahead and put that pin in. I've got a freshly charged 18650 Samsung IMR battery in here. I'm going to go ahead and screw it together. And I'm going to have to loosen the bottom up a little bit. Actually, I should probably adjust my bottom switch. The next mod I'm going to make to this mod, the Nemesis mod, the next thing I'm going to do to it is, instead of springs, people have been talking about using repelling magnets, like in the Magneto by SmokeTech. Just go ahead and tighten the bottom pin up. Make sure it's not so far of a throw. You can see there. Go ahead and screw it back in. The threads on this are a little bit wonky getting them started, but once you get going, they're nice and smooth. No problems whatsoever. Gonna get a little snug up. Get my drip tip. For some reason on this Protank 2, it will not fit a regular 510 drip tip. I think they milled it out a little strangely, and it causes it to be a little messed up. I think I had a little juice in the drip tip.
Okay, so a little technical difficulty with the camera. I'm going to go ahead and take that toot and show you what we got. Just firing pretty well here. I might have to do a little air adjustment on the Nemesis here. Maybe go down to slide it over to one hole to get a little better pull of the juice as I'm hitting it. Let's try that. There we go. Tremendous vapor. So I've got this, what is it? I said a 0.7 or a 0.8. I believe it's a 0.7. After putting juice in it, it's probably going to vary, you know, back and forth. We'll see. But it's hitting rather well. So with that, I've shown you how to put together the KANGER Protank coil, how to rewrap it, make it a sub-ohm. I use, like I said, a 28 gauge Kanthal, and I did about 3 or 4 wraps on it. Came out just the way I wanted it, sub-ohm for my mechanical mods. I don't have a kick or anything like that, so I just go straight, you know, whatever the battery's got in it, that's what's going to come out of the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and take another hit here, and I'll leave you with that. It's been another one of Boot and NJ's tips and tricks videos. Thanks for joining us, and have a great one.